NASCAR just made a decision that has the racing world divided. A YouTube star with millions of followers was told no by the sanctioning body, but he's showing up at Talladega anyway, and he's not coming alone. This weekend at Talladega isn't just about racing. It's about whether YouTube fame can buy you a seat in NASCAR's elite. One driver's 500 career start might end before it even begins. We've got 3 series, 1 massive Superspeedway, and enough drama to fill an entire season. Let's break down the biggest Talladega weekend. The man at the center of this controversy isn't just a driver. He's a cultural move. His real name is Garrett Mitchell, but he's known worldwide as Cletus McFarland. With 4.67 million YouTube subscribers, his channel commands bigger viewership than most NASCAR races. Mitchell owns the Freedom Factory racetrack in Bradenton, Florida, and has built an empire around grassroots racing. He started ARCA racing in 2025 with Rhett Jones Racing and was mentored by the late NASCAR legend Greg Biff. In 2026, Mitchell signed a 2-year deal with Richard Childress Racing for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series while maintaining a partial ARCA schedule. This represents a completely new path into NASCAR, social media fame versus the traditional racing ladder. Mitchell brings a massive new audience to the sport, but the question remains, can YouTube views translate to racing skill? The controversy exploded when NASCAR denied Cletus approval for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Talladega. This was supposed to be his second O'Reilly start, with sponsors already committed and fans excited. NASCAR EVP John Probst explained the decision, stating, "We're all huge Cletus fans. We all watch his videos and are certainly very appreciative of everything he's done in our sport and will continue to do in our sport. He is approved right now for O'Reilly Series short tracks, which means he's good for all of ARCA, all of Truck, and then O'Reilly up through the short tracks. We'd like to see more out of Cletus in the short tracks. So we're not saying no, but there is more that we would like to see out of Cletus before we would approve him for Talladega." NASCAR cited safety concerns at 200 miles per hour superspeedways and required more short track experience. The evidence behind NASCAR's decision tells a compelling story. At Rockingham in his O'Reilly debut, Mitchell finished 32nd, 6 laps down, spinning multiple times though never hitting anyone. In his Truck Series debut at Daytona, he completed only 5 laps before crashing. Dale Earnhardt Jr. assessed Mitchell's performances bluntly. "I saw enough to not approve him for Daytona or Talladega in the O'Reilly Series, to be quite honest with you." Even Kevin Harvick appeared shocked when Mitchell announced his RCR signing on the podcast Speed with Harvick and Buxton. Mitchell's response to the denial showed remarkable maturity. In a video posted to Facebook, he said, "It is what it is. I've only been racing NASCAR for 1 year. It was never my mission to get to the top as fast as I could." He acknowledged, "I need more windshield time. I have a lot to learn." Mitchell called it a little bit of a kick in the nuts, but not as much of a letdown as it seemed. His next O'Reilly start is scheduled for Nashville Superspeedway, with his ultimate goal remaining the Daytona 500 by 2028. The reaction from the racing community has been sharply divided. Supporters praise his fresh personality, authenticity, and the new fans he brings. Critics call it a devaluation of the sport, dangerous, and a bypass of the traditional ladder. One commenter wrote, "Over-under on cautions he'll cause is 3. NASCAR's credibility hangs in the balance." Despite the O'Reilly denial, Mitchell is still racing at Talladega, just in a different series. He'll compete Saturday in the ARCA Menard Series race, driving the number 30 BaldEagle.com Ford for Rhett Jones Racing in the Alabama-manufactured Housing 200. The race begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1, covering 76 laps and 202.16 miles. This marks his 3rd ARCA outing of the 2026 season. The shake and bake factor enters with Mitchell's best friend George Siciliano, known as LS George or Squirrel McNutt, who's also racing in the number 0 Heat Wave Vision. This is their 3rd consecutive week racing together, but their first time as Superspeedway drafting partners. They constantly reference the movie Talladega Nights, with Squirrel declaring, "I'm letting the cat out of the cage at Dega." Siciliano had to run Hickory, Rockingham, and Kansas to earn Talladega approval, finishing 12th at Kansas, better than Cletus's 20th place. The emotional core of their journey centers on Greg Biff. Cletus was mentored by the NASCAR legend and Biffle and his family were tragically killed in a December 2025 plane crash. Mitchell and Siciliano made a promise to honor Biff, and racing at Talladega fulfills that promise. Do It for Dale has become Do It for Biff in their world. Both received a lesson from Dale Earnhardt Jr., who drove Mitchell around the track in a video collaboration, showing every bump. Mitchell described Talladega. Talladega is the most lawless place I have ever been. It's almost its own country. Surprised they don't rip your sleeves off. They were spotted with Noah Gragson and Marshawn Lynch riding cooler go-karts on Talladega Boulevard. The debate over whether this benefits NASCAR rages. Tom Bowles from Front Stretch argues, Cletus and Squirrel are a connection to NASCAR's roots. He contrasts them with corporate, over-polished drivers who deliver scripted sponsor thank yous, calling them blue-collar Southern guys who just happen to drive. Bowles notes that Ross Chastain became more corporate after 2023, arguing NASCAR needs personalities, not marketing commercials. The comparison is stark. Mitchell's 4.67 million subscribers versus Chase Elliott's Instagram following of 500,000. The viewership case is compelling. The 2026 Daytona 500 drew 7.489 million viewers. Mitchell's YouTube channel has 4.67 million subscribers, while the 2026 Martinsville Cup race attracted only 2.394 million viewers. He brings an audience NASCAR desperately needs from younger demographics. The safety and credibility argument presents the counterpoint. Mitchell has only approximately 500 laps total experience across ARCA and trucks. He spun out by himself at Daytona after just 6 laps. One observer noted it was just dumb luck nobody else was in. Critics worry he could derail someone's season or cause injury. The use of fake names like Cletus and Squirrel is seen by some as mocking the sport. One comment stated, NASCAR should be ashamed for allowing it to happen. Another argued, if he does well, it means the cars are so easy a monkey could drive them. If he fails miserably, questions whether the series is really high level. Yet Richard Childress Racing gave Mitchell a 2-year deal, showing a major team believes in it. Sponsors Tommy's Express Car Wash and BaldEagle.com back him financially. NASCAR has approved him for ARCA Superspeedways, all trucks, and O'Reilly short tracks. He's not rushing, telling Corey LaJoie, the dumbest thing I could do is just jump to Cup and then look like an idiot. The ARCA race features historic competition. 41 teams have entered, the largest ARCA field at Talladega since 2012. The top 36 in owner points automatically qualify, with Joe Gibbs Racing's number 18 starting on the pole. The final 4 spots will be determined by fastest speeds in Friday practice. Gio Ruggiero in the number 18 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing is going for his 3rd straight ARCA win after victories at Daytona and Kansas. Jack would led 39 laps at Kansas before a late crash and is hungry to bounce back. Bobby Earnhardt finished 9th at Daytona, and the Earnhardt name at Talladega makes him must-watch television. Nitro Motorsports brings a 5-car armada featuring Jake Finch, Gus Dean, Jake Bowman, Isabella Robusto, and Thomas Annunziata. Talladega ARCA history shows no repeat winner in 19 consecutive races. The last repeat winner was Frank Kimmel, a 10-time champion, who won in 2006 and 2013. The closest finish in series history occurred in 2018 when Zane Smith beat Joe Graff Jr. by inches. The timing system showed 0.000 seconds. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series runs the AG Pro 300 Saturday evening at 4 p.m. Eastern on the CW. All 38 cars entered will make the show. Notable entries include veteran Garrett Smith-Lay, Carson Kvappel for JR Motorsports, and experienced J.J. Yelly. The elephant in the room. This is where Cletus was supposed to race, with the number 33 Richard Childress Racing entry likely sitting idle. Nashville in May is now his target. Sunday's Cup Series Jack Links 500 at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fox runs 188 laps, covering 500.5 miles. With 41 cars entered for only 40 spots, one driver goes home. The 36 chartered cars automatically qualify, leaving 5 open cars fighting for 4 spots. Jesse Love in the number 33 RCR Chevrolet, Joey Gase in the number 44 New York Racing Team, Casey Mirs in the number 62 Beard Motorsports Chevrolet attempting his 500 Career Cup Series start, Chad Fincham in the number 66 Garage 66 Ford, and Daniel Dye in the number 78 Live Fast Motorsports Chevrolet, making his Cup Series debut. Dye was forced out of Cal League Racing's Ram Trucks team after making rash comments on a live stream. If qualifying gets rained out, Mirs goes home by the rules, potentially denying him his milestone. Tyler Reddick has 5 wins in the first 9 races of 2026. The last driver to accomplish that was Dale Earnhardt in 1987. Reddick won Kansas last week, passing Kyle Larson on the final lap in overtime, and has a new sponsor in Rockstar Energy Drink. He had the best average finish at Superspeedways in 2025 and is the early Talladega fan. Austin Cindric, the defending race winner, is a Superspeedway specialist. Chase Elliott has 1 win and 4 top 10s in 8 starts at Talladega in the next-gen car, a 50% top 10 rate. Meanwhile, Joey Logano has 0 top 10s in 8 next-gen starts at Talladega with a 27.5 average finish. Josh Berry has the worst average finish among charter drivers at 27.8. The race uses the same Goodyear tires as the Daytona season opener on the 2.66-mile track with 33-degree banking. This weekend means everything for multiple stakeholders. Cletus McFarland must prove he belongs despite NASCAR's denial, finish the race cleanly, honor Greg Biffle's memory, and build his case for future O'Reilly Superspeedway approval while creating content for millions of you. NASCAR faces balancing tradition versus new audience, safety versus growth, and setting precedent for future social media stars. The sport itself confronts the authenticity versus corporate polish debate and questions of viewership numbers versus competitive integrity. Will Cletus and Squirrel shake and bake their way to a top finish or cause chaos? Can Tyler Reddick continue his historic win streak? Who gets sent home before the Cup race even starts? Will it be a driver on his 500 start? This is Talladega, where anything can happen.